In this video, I'm going to share with you a great technique, great tool on how to solve conflict. At the moment, many people are at home when they're usually out working and they're not used to being together on like sharing such a small space 24 hours a day, and conflict can arise. And that's completely normal. The question is how to solve it. And so we're going to talk about that in this video. My name is Alice. I'm from A Whole New High. This is our channel. Welcome. Yeah, so conflict happens when you are together with somebody, if it's your partner, if it's your children, if you're together for 24 hours a day in a small space, conflict can arise. And that's normal. Conflict will happen all the time. The question is just how to solve the conflict. And today I want to present to you an amazing tool that it's also amazing if you don't have conflict, but it really helps to solve conflict if you can reach your vulnerability. So the tool is called the sharing circle, and it's an old shamanic tool where people sat in a circle together and you had a talking stick, and whoever was holding the talking stick was the only one allowed to talk. And they would either do it with everybody having a certain amount of time, or usually it would happen everybody just talked until everything was said that they needed to say, and then they would pass on the talking stick to the person next to them, and then everybody would listen to that person. And in modern days, we have in the spiritual community, many people have adopted this, but it actually also really works really well in relationships when you have conflict. Because what happens if you are in anger, if something really angers you, then you are going to very often, if we don't have the tools, we are just going to snap at the other person. If we snap at the other person, they find it unfair, and then they will get angry back at us, and suddenly we are in a fight, like back and forth fight of anger, and we're just defending ourselves and trying to attack the other, which is very normal when we are in a reactivity state of anger. So how to get out of that is if we use that sharing circle tool to really go beyond our anger. So the best thing to do is you close your eyes, you sit in front of each other, and whatever you decide who starts, whoever probably is best, the one who's more angry starts. If you're both just as angry, then it doesn't matter who starts. And you are going to close your eyes so you do not see the reaction of the other. And that's very important, because if we see the reaction of the other, that's just going to make us react more. And the goal of this exercise is to get out of the reactive mode and go into our vulnerability, because that's the place where we can solve conflict. We can't solve conflict in a reactivity state. So, as I said, we both closed our eyes, one person starts, and it is very, very important that only the person who starts will talk. The other one will shut up the whole time. What you do need to do when you're the listener is to really feel into your body. Just feel whatever the other person is saying, like where is it, what sensations are you feeling in your body. But it's really important that you don't talk while the other one is talking. And you can either set a timer. A good time would be 5 to 10 minutes for each person, or you can just do it as long as you need to finish what you need to say. But here it's important that if you're really angry, then first you just blow off the steam. Let the other person know what made you angry. But then take a deep breath. Feel into your body. You can share that too. Just okay, this anger, I can feel this anger in my throat, I can feel this anger in my stomach. Breathe into it, share that with the other person. This is your time to speak. And then just find out, anytime that we're angry, there was a need of ours that wasn't being met. And if we present to our partner the need that wasn't being met, there is a very high likelihood, if you're not in an abusive relationship, that the other person will want to meet that need, or at least want to discuss on how to meet that need if she can't meet it or he can't meet it. So if you can then drop a layer further and just ask yourself, what actually made me so angry? What need do I have that wasn't being met? And then communicate that need to the other person. Or communicate, maybe after you have been in anger, you would drop into fear. Maybe you're really scared of losing the other person, or maybe you're really scared, maybe you're just in fear of the whole situation that's going on around you. And that part of you needs to be seen. So you drop as far as you can to really share what's going on inside of you with the other person. And then when you feel like, either when your time is off, or if you decide to do it without a timer, when you feel like you have finished the first round, it's oftentimes we need to do several rounds, then you say thank you, and the other person says thank you too. You both say thank you. Then you switch to the other person, and they will do the same thing. They're probably, even if you have already dropped into vulnerability and shared the missing need, they might still be in anger, so they need to blow off steam first too. Let them blow off their steam while you are listening again. Feel into your body whatever sensations that is arising, and you just be with them. And the other person will blow off their steam, and then also find out what their missing need was, like their unmet need was, but also address the unmet need of yours. And then once that person is finished, they will say thank you. You will say thank you, and then it will switch again to you. And you can do as many rounds as needed until you feel like the conflict is solved. And sometimes that will take 5 rounds each, because you have so much anger that still needs to blow off, and the anger of one person can trigger the anger of the other person. But I guarantee you that if you do it often enough, at some point you will be able to solve the conflict. If both people go as deep as possible into their vulnerability and share their fears, their sadness, and their hurt, their unmet needs, that's where you can solve the conflict. If you both stay in a reactivity, you can't solve the conflict. So that is my advice on what to do if conflict arises. You can do that even with your teenagers. If you live together with teenagers, you can do it with children, but if they're maybe not if they're too young, but if you have teenagers and they're willing to participate, then that would be an amazing tool to connect to them, to really listen to them, because very often we are not listening to our teenagers. We are trying to impose rules on them. We think we know better what's best for them without really fully listening to them, and that can cause a lot of conflict. So I hope that this tool, that you're going to try out this tool, and that it helped you a little bit. And I would really love to know, if you try it out, how it worked, if you were able to solve the conflict, and how you felt afterwards, and how the relationship felt. Thank you very much for listening and for watching, and subscribe to our channel if you want to see more videos like that.